It is dark out. It's late night. And nighttime is also when most often suicides happen. It is dark out. And I'm here talking to you. There was a study conducted on sleep disorders and sleep issues, and this correlation between sleep issues and the rates of suicide showed a significant link. People with impaired sleep often tend to have impaired mood, which then results in them contemplating and perhaps then eventually executing such plans. The sleep study outlined that a lot of people, and this study particularly focused on teenagers, have have an impaired circadian rhythm. And a circadian rhythm is nothing but the body's internal clock of of time, you could call it, of it's the body's way of knowing whether it is daytime or nighttime. And people with impaired circadian rhythm have longer and vaster hour schedules that are longer than 24 hours. So, for an average person, where the day begins and ends at 24 hours, people with impaired rhythm tend to have longer days, meaning their waking up and eventually going to sleep could extend beyond the mandated, the regularized 24 hours. And such people often find it difficult to either sleep well at night or to keep themselves awake during the daytime, and often face the, the consequences of the consequences of the end result being switched off, them perhaps feeling too sleepy and sleeping during the daytime, and them being night owls during their designated sleeping hours. All of these play a significant role in developing these issues, sleep issues, which ultimately affects our mood. And people with mood issues, doesn't matter if it's just depressive mood, even those experiencing bursts of manic energy also tend to ultimately come down and therein experience such suicidal thoughts. There are ways to work around the circadian rhythm and to fix it. Off the top of my head, you can try to see what makes nighttime unique is the lack of structuring that the nighttime has compared to your daytime. Most of you have a more structured daytime as opposed to a nighttime where it is less structured, there's less things to do. And even the things that are to be done, that there aren't proper structures put in place to for you to be governed. That's one reason. And the reason is the realization that tomorrow is almost over here. It's almost here. It's at the doorstep. It's just a night's sleep away, and it is tomorrow. And the fear of tomorrow, the fear of facing up to the challenges, the demons of tomorrow, is enough to cause stress, anxiety, distress in a person at late at night. So that is also something that we ought to look into. That there are various methods of distress and deregulating your mood that you can work on your own, but preferably with the help of a therapist that will help you deal with these things. But what I want to talk about is it's a vortex. It's a vortex of utter despair, the dark energy staring back at you of death. Next time you are at that point, instead of wanting to rush back to safety, and it makes perfect sense because our brains are wired to do that, but let's for a second contemplate a scenario where you stare into the vortex and make yourself comfortable at the precipice of life and death at this point. Because it's often at that point where if you manage to ask the right questions, then you'll be bloody amazed at the answers that your own subconscious gives you. The lies that you have been telling yourself breaks free, breaks apart, and you get delivered a purer truth, the whole truth perhaps. It isn't an easy exercise by any stretch of the imagination, and I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. Perhaps you're not strong-willed, strong-minded to handle the harsh realities that exists within the confines and the abyss and the depths of your own mind. But if you have the stomach, the strong heart to deal with the possible, depravable, harsher realities that exist within them, you could, perhaps you should, take this journey with him. Because it's only by coming face to face with the darkness that one starts appreciating the light more. You cannot always run away from the thing that you fear the most, especially when the thing that you fear the most resides within you. Face it and let me know how it went.